Hello everyone, my name is Farrell and I'm from Team Kucing Lovers, and today we'll be presenting about our solution for secure trip. Well, this is my team. As you can see, it consists of Rafi on the left side, Glenn on the middle side, and me on the right side. So what's the problem? The problem is Secure Trip is a non-government organization that works with the tourism industry with the cost to help revive the industry after being hit hard during the corona pandemic. As countries start to loosen their regulation on the borders and grant entry for travelers, and more started to embrace the new normal way, Secure Trip sees this as an opportunity to their cause. However, there are two challenges for safe traveling during the pandemic. One of them includes implementation of a safe bubble that may help in creating trust, safety, and regaining confidence in traveling with the help of enforced health protocols and technology. Another challenge would be on how Secure Trip could find a way to revitalize the tourism industry and reducing fears which was caused by the pandemic with the safe bubble that would be implemented.
So moving on with the objectives. So here below are the four objectives of secure trip. Firstly is to revive the tourism industry, as what Carol said just now, and increase the customer traffic. Secondly is to make environments have standardized safety protocols. In addition, it is also to create trust with the major population. And lastly, to minimize the risk of contracting and spreading of the COVID-19 virus.
So these are our considerations for Secure Trip solutions. So there are existing solutions. First one is CHSE. What is CHSE? It's called Clean, Healthy, Safe, and Environmentally Sustainable. So it is a state audited certification for tourism destinations that meet health and safety regulations created by Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy. And on the right side, we have Peduli Lindungi. What is Peduli Lindungi, you may ask? It is a state-driven safe bubble solution, a database system that records citizens' vaccination and testing history.
In addition, we would like to seek government support for improving the services in our ecosystem through the partnering up with the license just now, as mentioned before, CHSE, which is a certificate for tourism destinations that meet health and safety regulations. We would also like to work with government through their application with so the application Peduli Lindungi to improve our creation of a safe bubble. And lastly, we'll also like to work with other government third-party apps, not only from Indonesia, if they have provided safety to everyone accounted for.
The application has to be modular for it to be reusable for different businesses. It has to be profitable so that it can sustain itself and attract revenue. It has to be compliant with various laws and regulation, not just locally but also abroad. It has to be reliable and trustworthy, and it has to be enjoyable for our customers to actually want to use our application.
So this is our early staging. We had a few perspectives in mind and we come up with 5 perspectives. Firstly is financial. So in financial, our strategic objective would be to increase revenue for the next 5 years. In services, we have two targets, which is in 5 years, increase awareness of health protocols for our employees and increasing amount of services. For customers, it's about creating safe and trust for customers in the pandemic and to increase our customer base for the next 5 years. In technology, we would also like to have process automation, which include a few system integration, reconfiguration, and many more. Lastly, in sales, we have two strategic objectives. Firstly, to increase brand presence and increasing sales.
Risk assessment. Some of the risks that we considered were if the safe bubble was breached, which would compromise the safety and the trust of the participants, And for this, we would have to track our users and inspect the protocols that's used by the different destinations. And the second one is data breach, which would potentially leak personal info of our customers for misuse, and we would also lose their trust. Some of the precautions that can be used is encryption and HMAC, and just regular physical security. Another one is server failure, which obviously the services can't be performed. We can use the cloud deployment for this, which is highly available. And for system overcapacity, we would also use the cloud deployment, which would have automatic load balancing. And for connection failures, you would just have to contact support personnel. Some of the features for this are ranking standard for health and safety protocols of different hotels and destinations, the listings of those destinations and the different services they have, automatic scheduling to prevent certain locations from becoming too crowded, and we accept bookings and payments directly and then forward that to the actual uh, establishment like the hotel or the airline. We also have self-isolation protocols with GPS tracking and passive inferred tracking, which basically means we try to infer their location based on their check-in logs and booking logs and stuff. And the data is set up for tracing in case of a breach of the safe bubble. And we also have a mobile check-in for most services, especially with stuff like mobile payments and NFC.
So this is firstly our use case. I will not go through in deep detail, but on our use case, we have about flight bookings. On the right side, we have quarantine arrival on if you arrive, what should you do using the application that we provided. On the top left side, it's about entering buildings or events such as concerts or buildings in general. Below on about entering public transport, what should you do? Scan the QR code to check in public transport, and the system can log your location. On the right side, we have about booking restaurants. So if you want to book restaurant using our application, that is also available, and that is how you are going to do it using our application. And we have two more here. We have booking for movie tickets for our tourists if they want to watch movies. And we also have booking for transport. So in here, if you want to go, for example, finding a transport using a bus to go somewhere, you can use this use case. And lastly is for booking concerts that can be available for many people.
This is one of the methods that we'll implement for user verification. When a user registers, they can be either local or foreigner. We can use image recognition to check passports and other certificates. We can use Penduli Lindungi to check their vaccination status or other third-party applications that other nations may have. This uses serverless functions, which basically will give back a digital signature as verification, and this can be renewed. And when users check in on site, they use this signature. The strengths are that the vaccination status are taken from credible sources, and we don't need to develop our own solution for that. The vaccination status from passports and stuff are ensure that most people have a way to verify themselves, and digital signature ensure authenticity. The weaknesses are that we rely on those other services, on those other third parties for the actual verification, and we have to be very concerned with the data to ensure that it's safe, and also that it requires a connection to servers every time we check its authenticity. For establishments, we verify them by checking their CHSE certification. We'll have to reach out to them directly and talk outside of the application itself for this, but they will receive grading based on their certification and everything else, and they can also pay to be inspected and given a promotion basically as being trustworthy. For booking and scheduling, we can retrieve active bookings and generate optimal schedules with machine learning algorithms. We can translate the actual listings to the client's language, and we can send the listings to the clients through the API gateway and serverless functions. These will be stored in various different storage solutions that we'll get into later, and the client will send the actual booking detail to the actual server, the cloud for storage afterwards. Here are some of the storage solutions. One of them is a ledger database, which is used to store the transaction information and the user travel history. This is cryptographically verified, and the full history is accessible, so it can be traced. The relational database is used for user information and other accommodation, destination, stuff like that. It's ACID compliant, so it's structured and consistent. Booking information will be stored in a document database. This is for partition tolerance for horizontal scalability. It's faster acquiring as well and more flexible for different data structures. The warehousing storage will be Redshift for booking history. This is used for acquiring data separately for analytics and machine learning. For user tracking, we use passive tracking by checking their track-in history. We use geolocation if allowed, and this implements a warning system if the user goes away from the isolation area, and the data is warehoused as well so that we can trace them later on if there's a breach.
So that's our implementation plan. I would also not go through in detail with this, but these are deliverable structure chart. So as you can see on our first sprint, we have configuration of servers and database. So registration and login and authentication. So in that sprint, we're going to construct what is stated over there in sprint 1. And secondly, we have integration of services, linking of business and partner informations, which is going to be constructed in sprint 2. And we have 2 more sprints here. For sprint 3, we have QR code implementation and prevention bracelet implementation. And sprint 4, payment system, booking system, and system integration as a whole.
So moving on, this is our network diagram for secure trip. So we have 4 departments: the human resource department, the information technology department, the sales department, and the finance department. This network diagram is equipped with 2 servers, 4 Wi-Fis, 10 CCTVs, a firewall, a VPN, and also 5 databases. Now we will move on to the budgeting section. So this is the total cost of the components that are previously mentioned in the network diagram, and it totals up to 85 million rupiah.
So how will our solution be effective? We believe that we have created a safe, standardized environment where people do not need to panic. These are the reasons why. Users who book services through our app are guaranteed vaccinated. Integration with location system help with tracking. All-in-one solution for travel. Uses state-managed CHSE standard for safety verification. Integration with existing solution minimizes cost and complexity and also increases feasibility. No new standards or frameworks for initial inspection and verification necessary. So our marketing, we also have a marketing plan would focus on providing cashbacks for the first 2 years through use of our services, encouraging locals and foreign users to use the services we provide. We'll also do social media advertisement and create a strong presence in the social media with the creation of hashtags for the trends such as safe trip with secure trip and insecure trip we trust with our safe bubble method. Other than that, we also have We also would also provide social media challenges for social media users to promote our brand by posting photos through social media using our text and giving prizes to the chosen winners. Conclusion. In conclusion, our solution would provide secure trips tourists to enjoy staying at their chosen destination with the help of new forms of technologies and innovations that could ensure the safety and trust in the current pandemic. As we also create content for our customers that will be partnering to other businesses, as well to increase revenue for secure trip, while also ensuring it to be part of safe bubble by active tracking and passive tracking. Thank you.